Darius Acuff makes his summer league debut versus the Nets, and he scores 25 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. But the main thing that people are talking about is him shooting 9 for 29 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. And this had Twitter in a doozy, right? As they do when summer league comes up. It was a lot of overreactions. Let's click into some. This first one right here from Andrew Ma. Clippers made the right call. We don't need our point guard chucking 30 shots at 30%. This isn't crazy right here, actually. Hold on. He's genuinely terrible, dude. Okay, we've taken a step. Cam Thomas 2.0. All right. Okay. And you got this dude talking about we're right on track because these are Jalen Brunson shooting splits from the NBA Finals. Now, reactions like this are normal at Summer League, and honestly, these aren't even the worst ones that you will see, right? This is something that all fans do. Summer League comes around, they overreact because over the littlest thing, the prospect could miss a shot, they could have a bad shooting day, they could have a bad game, and people just overreact. And listen, I'm not saying it's wrong to overreact, bro. Feel your feelings. Feel whatever player or team that you support them, and be overly delusional about it. Because one thing about me and my Washington Wizards, I will tell you with a straight face that I believe AJ Diabonsa is the best player in the league, and no one can stop him, and he's going to be the greatest of all time. Unapologetically, do not give a singular care in the world about it. And I think it's okay. Until we go a little too far, right? Some people decide to lose their everlasting mind over these summer league games, and they end up looking wrong in the long run. Let me show you some examples of some players who played absolutely horrible in their summer league, ended up being like some of the greatest players in the league. Hey, shout out this Darius Acuff picture, man. All these quotes are amazing. All right, so Jalen Brunson in his first summer league. 6.8 points, 4.4 assists, 3 turnovers, 22.7 field goal percentage. This is NBA champion, Finals MVP, all NBA caliber player Jalen Brunson. Trae Young, holy shit, when Trae Young was in the summer league, it was bad. 15.7 points, 5.7 assists, 3.7 turnovers, and 30% from the field goal line. I remember when this happened. This was the first time I was actually able to conceptualize like the internet and their opinion on prospects. Trae Young was getting, the bust tweets, the bust chants, the bust talks were through the roof. Cade Cunningham, 18.7 points, 2.3 assists, 4 turnovers, 42.9% from the field. It's okay. Jaylen Brown, 16 points, 1.3 assists, 2.2 turnovers, 32% from the field. It's all right. Derrick Rose, right here, bud. 28 minutes per game, 9.5 points, 29% from the field. Didn't make a singular 3 in the 2 games that he played. And 5.5 assists per game, 4 turnovers a game? I mean, shit. All of these guys are guys that we hold in high regards. These are some of the best players in the NBA. The list I just named. All-NBA champion Jalen Brunson, All-NBA Cade Cunningham, NBA champion Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, Trae Young. I just named some of the best players in the league, and I just showed you their horrible summer league splits. And when they were happening, people were on their ass, being super critical of their performances, and I get it. The thing that I don't get, and I want to research and actually like dive into the video, is like, how do we even get here? What caused so many people to judge rookies so harshly? Listen, I am 22 years old. I was not alive back in like the early 2000s, the 90s, or whatever. Or whenever Summer League started. This whole shit of Summer League and overreactions, I don't know how it was back then. But one thing that is very common now, and that happens a lot nowadays, is just being so harsh on younger guys. Young guys need time. That, like, plain and simple. Young guys, they need time. But how do we get here? In my opinion, I think it's a couple ways. I think the first thing is the acceleration of how players develop, right? For example, you have AJ Diabonsa, right? Or Cooper Flag. These are two players who originally were in the 2025 and 2026 draft classes or high school classes. No, draft classes originally. In high school, they were supposed to graduate at a certain time, and then they were supposed to come in the following draft class, but they all moved up 1 year ahead. This right here kind of is something that people forget about. These prospects are way younger than they would be typically if they had gone down, I guess you could say, the normal timeline or path that a bunch of other rookies went through before in the past. I don't really hear too many stories of guys reclassifying, of guys entering college early as much back in the day as they do nowadays. Nowadays, that shit, it seems like it's normal. Early enrollment, you roll in college early, you complete half of your high school year. I know in football, that's a big thing. You complete that first half of your high school senior year, play out your season, you take December off, and next thing you know, you're shipped off to whatever college you're at, and you only come back for like prom and graduation. Some don't even come back for prom. But this right here is very interesting. I think this gets really lost in a lot of the criticism of these players. They're way younger than you would think. I mean, I don't think you should judge them, even if you do believe they're 18 or 19 years old, but some of these dudes are genuinely 17, 18 years old, carrying the load of potentially being the face of a franchise. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to work out as a face of a franchise or, even without college experience. Plenty of guys who was in high school, who didn't go to college, who did not work out. Thon Maker, for example. But this accelerated pipeline is something that is very interesting. It really piques my interest. Second thing is the alternative pathways that these prospects take. Overtime Elite, G League Ignite, these two leagues are something that has a lot of people paying attention to these prospects. They're put into the spotlight way earlier on than before. I think when LeBron was put in the spotlight and he was early on in high school, that was a phenomenon. Then we really hadn't seen anybody put on such a grand scale to that magnitude at that point in their life until we saw LeBron. Nowadays, that shit is normal. It's actually so normal. You will see people who are in elementary school, middle school, little kids already getting certain type of hype, buzz, getting evaluated. Their game is getting overly criticized, overly analyzed and scouted. People are forming scouting reports on a nigga who is a freshman in high school. Makes no sense. Like me saying this out loud, this shit makes no sense, but that is a real life thing that happens. And I think this, alongside with the reclassification blueprint, is because you get to see these guys earlier. So because you get to see them earlier, you kind of get to get a feel for them over time, how they operate, how they play, and you get to see their weaknesses. Now, outside of just humans in general, just being a bunch of hating ass motherfuckers, this is something that I believe plays into the overly judgmental statements and critical things that we give these prospects so early on into their career. Because think about it like this. If you have seen something for some of these prospects, you'll see them from when they're like 12 to when they're like 18. If you're seeing something for like half of a decade, right? Naturally, you're going to have the ability to look at it from a bunch of different lenses. You're going to be able to look at it from a super critical lens, a very vague lens, a very, vague, broad lens. You're ever going to see how they operate in different environments, how they bad look, their lows, how their highs look, and naturally you're going to form an opinion. Now, sane human being would just be like, hey, this is a high, this is a low, this is how they play, these are some of their weaknesses, but I still have some nuance in my thinking. I'm able to come to whatever conclusion I could come to, right? Like, that's just normal, but everybody's not like this. Some humans, some people, when they see things so much over a certain point in time, they just get tired of it, and the natural thing to do is to just be negative, which a lot of humans are. I mean, I'm not above it. Like, there are some things I'm overly negative about. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, especially when it comes to prospects, but it comes from a genuine place. But when you put prospects on a broad scale and you eliminate the more so amateur developmental phase, with the rise of AAU and everything from all of these players' upbringings, it's natural for some people to really come to the conclusion that, how are you not ready? Like, you said that you want to be in the spotlight. You are not, you said, but you are now in the spotlight. Some players talk shit. You have deemed that you're ready for the spotlight. You are in AAU. You are the lead person in this AAU team. I am now expecting this from you. I am expecting something that is very high, that And really, a lot of times it's unrealistic. And then with NIL and the transfer portal coming into play, it becomes even worse because you have some people that sit up here and think that just because a player is getting paid, that they have to perform a certain way. And I'm not saying they should just be lazy or anything like that, but naturally when money comes into play, when $1 million rosters come into play, $1 million contracts come into play, the expectation raises. And I'm not saying this is wrong. If my school, if I'm a Florida Gators fan, if the Florida Gators are paying you a certain amount of money to perform because we expect you to perform a certain way, I am expecting that out of you. But I'm not going to be unfair about it. And some people think that, oh, you can't have a bad game. You can't be off your pivot a little bit. You can't just like not be good at all. And I think it's okay to not be good. I think that's how you get like players that eventually develop into such great pieces. But people just love to be overly critical. People also like to be right. We're going to get into that later. That is something that honestly has, in my opinion, shifted the perspective of all of these rookie prospects from us, not even just rookie prospects, young prospects, college people, even guys who have like 1 or 2 years in the league under them. They're still hella young, but because, like I said, they're in the spotlight, you have so much time to look at them. The expectations are rising. You look at how much money they're making. You look at the endorsements. You look at the way some people who are like very high on them talk about, some people who are very low on them talk about. It has a lot of people just being like, hey, bro, I need it right now. I need that instant gratification from you, especially if you invest like a high draft pick. We just drafted AJ Diabonsa, #1 in this upcoming NBA draft. The expectation for him is through the roof. They're looking for a franchise savior. Our last franchise savior was John Wall. We drafted him 16 fucking years ago. And since then, we have not won a championship since then. And AJ Diabonsa is having to carry the weight of the people who were expecting championship out of them John Wall teams and never got it. Plus, just the overall weight that comes with being the #1 overall pick, especially in the draft class of this magnitude. This draft class has a lot of hype behind it. Some people have called it the best draft class of all time, me included. And it's so early on. It is so early on, but that's just natural. But we as humans, especially in today's age and society, we just want that instant gratification. We want it now. We want to see what you do now. But that is just not realistic at all. If I'm being completely honest with you, like I am a fan, and I have some things I'm reading as I go along. I am a fan of the give them time thing. And I think more people should get accustomed to that. Listen, Summer League is in 3 days. And I know, especially with that AJ versus Darren Peterson game that's going to happen, people are going to be off their fucking rocker. But listen, Trae Young, Derrick Rose, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, even during the season, Derek Garland struggled in his rookie season. He was statistically like the worst player in the NBA. And he was somebody who fans completely like wrote the fuck off. Like fans was overly not messing with Darius Garland because he looked so bad. But outside these guys being small guards, especially like with Darius Acuff, like Darius Acuff is a small ass guard. It's going to be tough for him to adjust to the NBA. And, you know, Darren Peterson having the overly efficient game that he just had is something that you just have to be slow about, right? Things take time. I remember even a guy like Aaron Nesmith, he was a third-year guy playing in Summer League, and now look at him, I guess the finals before this one, he was one of the most impactful players on that entire team. Guys, it takes time, and I think we as NBA fans need to realize it takes time. Like, even Wembanyama right now is a top 5 player in the league. His first Summer League was fucking horrible. He was like 2 for 13 from the field. He shot, actually, let me find this. Found it. Wembanyama scored 9 points. He was 2 for 13 from the field, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. The 5 blocks is impressive, but, you know, he's 7'5". But most people are focusing on this right here specifically. Even I'm seeing a guy like Ben Simmons, 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. I know what he is now, but we're not going to act like Ben Simmons was one of the best players in the NBA at his absolute peak. Cooper Flagg, 10 points, 5 for 21 from the field, 6 rebounds in his first Summer League game. These are all guys who struggled mightily in their first Summer League game, and now they're some of the best players in the entire NBA. And I think that is something that we as fans need to realize, right? With Summer League being in about 3 days, well, even though Summer League has already started, with the Las Vegas Summer League being in 3 days, that's what's going to have the most eyes on it, the most people watching. Take it slow. I understand in the NIL era with the type of money these people are making. I understand with Shit, because John Wall told AJ Diabasa that his rookie contract was John Wall told AJ Diabasa that what AJ Diabasa is making on his rookie contract right now is what John Wall was making for a max contract back when he was playing. So money comes into play, pressure comes into play, expectations come into play, and people wanting to be fucking right, which is actually, let me get into that. People have this thing where they just want to be right about something extreme. It's a gotcha moment. It's a gotcha moment. Hey, I called such and such not being good. I called this player falling off. See, here, when they played in their first ever Summer League game against real NBA competition, I said they were going to be bad, and now look at them. Yo, you look like a fucking dumbass, bro. Let me know something. When you did something for the first time in your life, were you good at it? Were you amazing at it? Maybe. Some things you're just naturally good at. Some people are just naturally gifted at a multitude of things off strength. That is not a normal thing. When you start something off, you're going to struggle. You're not going to be good. But so many people want this gotcha moment. So many people want this, I was right about this. I'm trying to blow up off this. See, I really know ball because I said this. We got to stop that shit. If you're watching this video, you are somebody who does that, you have to stop that shit. If you have a take like that, there's nothing wrong with it. Just have it rooted in something that is legit. If you're going to say, hey, Victor Wembanyama scored 9 points, 2 for 13 in his first ever game. He had 8 rebounds, he had 5 blocks, but I don't really think this is sustainable because the way he was doing it was in a way I don't think he can do when it comes to the real life NBA. And you're able to explain and dive deeper in that, cool. That's a real explanation behind your take. A lot of people, they not moving like that. They just are like, hey, I'm saying this, and it's an extreme take. Cam Thomas 2.0, he's ass. This is horrible. The Clippers shouldn't have drafted him. I'm glad they didn't draft him. That shit is like distasteful. That's not real scouting. That's not real ball knowledge. You're just saying some shit for some bait, and your ass is gonna end up on freezing cold takes for saying some bullshit like that, bro, because it's just not something that is ethical. I really hate the fact that a lot of people do that, but that's something a lot of people do, because a lot of people, like I said earlier, are just hating ass niggas, and a lot of people just want to be right. But it is just be rooted in, you know, real life legitimacy with your takes. But that kind of brings me back to my original point, right? We have to stop this accelerated expectations on rookies. I have my script down, bro. Let me bring my script back up. We have to stop this accelerated expectations on these rookies. And although I understand why, because the pipeline within the growth and development of players has changed so much over time, even the way they're being trained, the way they're being developed, the things they're being taught, and at what age they're being taught and exposed to all these things has changed. I get it. Players are being guaranteed shoe deals when they're in fucking high school, right? But listen, guys, growth takes time. They're not going to figure it out early on. And I feel like this video is so important because by the time it comes out, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of bullshit like that on the timeline. And that's honestly not going to stop. I'm not making this video to prevent all of that, because I will be a fool if I thought that my voice on my channel was going to be able to stop everybody on the world of X and Instagram and Threads was going to just shut the fuck up when I said something. But I think it is important for the people who do watch this to take this with you, as not just throughout the summer league, but as we go through the rookie season. It takes time. It is okay that it takes time. Just give them time to grow, to go through the growing pains, and to just learn. It's all right. That's what y'all I got, man. This is a new series I'm trying out. tlowe Think Pieces. Kind of just me yapping, but having some things that I present to y'all. Let me know if y'all like it. This is the first one I've done. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I don't know, bro. If you enjoyed the video, though, make sure you leave a like on the channel. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the topic and the video and everything. Very interested to see what y'all have to say. But that's all I got. Until next time, peace.